Alright, I'm Shafe, this is Shafer TV. Thanks for clicking on the video. We got a real interesting video for you today. It's the top 3 questions that have been burning a hole in my brain about the upcoming season. Starting today, the upcoming season. I'm so excited for it. But yes, before we get into it, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the video. Alright, let's get right into it. I don't want to waste none of your time. My first question that's burning a hole in my brain. Which manager is going to get the sack first this season in the Premier League? Last year we had a record, I think it was 14 managers that got sacked. This year, don't know if we're going to hit those types of numbers, but that's not what this question is about. The question is who's going to go first. So I'm not entirely sure who's going to go first, so I'm going to give you 3 that I think is the most probable. Okay, I think the third most probable is Erik ten Hag. And the reason I think that Erik ten Hag is on the hot seat is because of such an abysmal season last year. Eighth place, not acceptable. Almost the lowest point total in the history of Manchester United. Also not acceptable. This transfer summer, they've gotten rid of some big wages. They've gotten rid of some players that they didn't need to have. They've picked up some really good players. Lenny Euro, Matthias de Ligt, Mazraoui, Joshua Zirkzee. They're probably going to pick up a midfielder in the next couple days. Another midfielder in the next couple days. They have no reason to be as bad as they were last year. I do have my doubts, and that's why Erik ten Hag is on this list. I think that if he has a slow start to the season, I do think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe will pull the plug, and I think he will begin again. I think Erik ten Hag is on his last leg here. He needs to have a good start to the season. He needs to put up, in the first 5 or 6 games, he needs to put up 9-10 points, somewhere in that range at the bare minimum. I hope he does it. It's my team. I love him. He's third on the list. Number 2 on the list is Nuno Espirito Santo. And I'll tell you exactly why he's number 2. I think that his team, Nottingham Forest, I think that they play decent football. I think they're a decent football club. I think that Nuno Espirito Santo cannot get along with anybody. He can't get along with his players. He can't get along with his general managers. He can't get along with his owners. He gets sacked everywhere he goes. And I don't suspect it's going to be any different this time. I think he's in for the sack. I don't know if it's going to be first. That's why I got him second on this list. The man that I do have first on this list is the one and only Steve Cooper for Leicester City. And I'll tell you exactly why. Leicester City are 8 years removed from winning a title in the Premier League. They just 97 points last year in the championship. Wonderful football under Maresca. They're looking to compete this year. They're looking to come around in that mid-table spot, 10, 11, 12 spot. But they've had an abysmal preseason under Steve Cooper. He doesn't look like he's going to be the guy to do it. I think the first 5 or 6 games this season for him are going to be incredibly crucial. I think he needs to come away with 8, 9 points. And if he doesn't, I think that there's a really high likelihood that he's going to get the sack. Now, again, take all of this with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion, but I do believe that he's going to be the number 1, or he's going to be the first to get the sack this season. The next question that's burning a hole in my mind, which team is the most improved team this year? From not just the summer transfer window, but throughout the season, which team is going to be the most improved? And I got to say, once again, we're going to use the same setup as the last question. I'm going to have 3 teams on here. We're going to start with the bottom team first. I think Chelsea. Chelsea came in 6th on the table last season. I do think that they probably set for a good season this year. I think that Maresca is going to figure that squad out. I don't think it's going to happen right away. I think he's going to need at least 8 to 10 games to figure this out with them. But with that being said, this squad is way too good. There's way too much talent. There's way too much firepower on this squad for them not to succeed this year. I really do think that they should be competing for top 4 this season. I do think in the last 7 or 8 games, they should have top 4 locked up. But that's why we play the season, and that's, we're going to find out later, I guess. The number 2 team is Manchester United. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why in the hell would you have Manchester United as a most improved team when you have their manager on the list of maybe one of the first managers to get sacked? Well, I'll tell you why. Manchester United have gotten better this offseason. They have gotten some salaries off their books. They have brought in quality players. They do have quality players on the squad. They do have big players on the squad. They have players that can make the difference. They have Bruno. They have Rashford. They have Garnacho. They have Casemiro. They have Kobe Mainu. They have Lisandro Martinez. They got Diogo Dalot. They have a good squad. Everything's going to come down to the manager. It is. It really is. This year is the year that Manchester United needs to step up. I really do think they have a chance to. Another reason why I think that they're going to be one of the most improved teams is I really don't think they're going to come in 8th again. But there's a likelihood that they might. All right. However, with that being said, they got way too talented of a squad to be dipping out of that top 6. I do think that they're set for a good run this year. I do think if they can put it all together, they should hit 5th, maybe even competing for top 4. So that's why I have them at number 2 on my most improved team this offseason. And number 1, West Ham. West Ham has had a wonderful summer transfer window. They have brought in just an incredible amount of good players. They've basically brought in everything that they need to succeed. We're experiencing some difficulties. Once again, everything they need to succeed with players like Max Kilman, Somerville, Nicholas Fulkrug. They brought in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Guido Rodriguez, Todibo. That's 2 center backs, a center forward. They brought in a left winger, a right back, a defensive midfielder. They've got exponentially better this offseason. I do believe that they're going to be... They were 9th last year. I do think they're going to shoot up to the top 6, no problem. I think that they should be competing for the top 6. I think that they got a chance to settle into the top 4. I think they're going to be one of the teams that we're all going to enjoy watching this season. I think the best player that they brought in is the oldest player they brought in, which is Nicholas Fulkrug. I do believe he's in tail for a good season. They're going to supply him with Somerville, and you're going to have, Bowen. They're going to supply him Paqueta. They're going to supply him. He's going to score them goals. 15-plus goals easily this season for Nicholas Fulkrug. So that's why they're number 1 on my most improved this offseason and throughout the season. All right, and moving on to the last burning question, and this is where it gets real interesting. Can any top 3 Premier League team compete with Bayern Munich or Real Madrid this year? Now, this is a great one, guys, and I'll tell you why this is a great one. Everyone who's got a bias toward the Premier League or teams like City and Arsenal, Liverpool, all those things are going to say, oh, hell yeah, they can compete. Well, here's the real deal. Before we get into my answer, let me just go ahead and show you. Here's the Bayern Munich lineup that I believe is going to be starting this year. Okay, we got Neuer in goal, left back Guerrero, we got Kim Jae in the and Upamecano in the partnership at the center back. We got Kimmich on the right back. Paulinho and Limer playing those defensive midfielder positions. We're going to have Musiala on the left with Olise playing the attacking midfield and Sané on the right. And we're going to have Harry Kane at the top. That is one great squad. Okay? Now let me show you another squad that's even better. This is the Real Madrid lineup in the upcoming season. The squad. We have Courtois in goal, Mendy on the left, Militao and Rudiger as a center-back partnership. We have Carvajal on the right, Camavinga and Tchouaméni holding down those 2 defensive midfield positions. Vinicius Jr. on the left, Bellingham on the down the middle, attacking midfield, Rodrigo on the right, and Mbappe at striker. Now, again, I asked the question, can any top 3 Premier League team compete with Real Madrid or Bayern Munich? No, they cannot. Sorry. One of those 2 teams is winning the Champions League this year. Sorry, guys. It's just the way it's going to be. All right. With all that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video. I appreciate you clicking on it. Thanks for watching Schaefer TV. I'm Shafe. Have a great day, you guys. Enjoy the day. United versus Fulham tonight. Give it a watch. See you on the next video, guys.